Today we're going to do a talk on, we have people from Cloze and we have a great crew over here from Sotheby, and we're going to talk about today, ultimately a little casual conversation about ActivePipe and Cloze, and ultimately some of the things that Soleil's doing when it comes to incorporating Ninja into the business, and then ultimately how, incorporating into some of the digital products that you guys are using. So to start us off here, I thought it'd be good to do a couple introductions. And to start off with Tamy and Talita, we have from Sotheby. Would you like to give a little bit of background on yourselves and the brokerage? That'd be great.
Oh, well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. We're excited to be here for GNE, and it's been a great morning so far. And so thanks for having us. We are located in Margate, New Jersey and Brigantine, New Jersey. So we're on the Jersey Shore, and we have recently started with Cloze and ActivePipe. And so we're really enjoying the platform, and a lot of our agents are, slowly going on board. So we're really kind of enjoying this new phase of the technology that we brought on board. So, and Talita, my associate here, she's the director of lead generation. And so she has been working very closely with Cloze and ActivePipe as well. So we're really enjoying it.
Happy to have you guys on. And how big is the brokerage, and how long have you guys been around in the area? What's a little bit of history?
So we have probably about 60 agents on our roster, and we've been in business now for, 25 years. So we've been here for quite a bit of time, and we've been with the Sotheby's franchise for a long time now, and we absolutely adore being part of SIR.
Awesome. And Tamy, you're originally from Melbourne, right?
Australia, Brisbane, Australia.
Brisbane.
Yes.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, ActivePipe is originally based out of Australia. So it was a friendly voice when I got to hear Tamy for the first time. It was bringing me right back to all of my late night conversations with my Australian crew. So great to have you on. Awesome. I'll jump in real quick. So for me, I'm Aaron Lincoff. I've been with ActivePipe for 2 years now. Some of you might know me from my earlier company that should not be named. I wonder if I don't have any gear around here, but I used to work at a company called Contactually that some of you might know. But when it got acquired from Compass, Contactually had actually integrated with ActivePipe at the time. So I knew the company, and it was really cool. They were just starting off in the industry, so I ended up joining there. So good to see a lot of you again. And Alex, do you want to give a little background?
Yeah. I'm Alex Coté. I'm one of the founders of Cloze. So thank you for joining, and thank you both for using Cloze. Appreciate that. So yeah, we're just hoping to have a good casual conversation today. We've been at it now for about 9 years, so we've been around for a while. Just like ActivePipe, we're part of the current platform, and we're all integrated and working together. So we've been doing that for quite a while. Really part of their core of their technology stack. So I thought it would be good. Aaron and I thought it'd be great to bring you together and talk about how you use these platforms on a daily basis. What's your typical day look like? How you organize and run your Ninja side of your business in Cloze, and how that pipes all the way through to ActivePipe to continuously have that auto flow running. So really talk about kind of the balance of both, and how you lean forward with technology to help you get a lot done. Because I think we're all under a lot of pressure right now. The business is good, and so we got to get a lot done. So we got to be very efficient in how we use our time, but we also have to try to keep some of those good habits going that are easy to fall off when times are good. So it'd be great to just kind of explore some of that with both of you, and just we'll take it from there.
Yeah. And so how about to get us started, and again, we keep this pretty conversational, and Tamy, obviously you guys are an earlier stage of ActivePipe and Cloze, just starting to bring it on. So not expecting you guys to know the product in and out. That's where me and Alex come in. We can give like that feel. But I think what's helpful, that not everybody has as much experience that you do, for example, with Ninja. And I think it's interesting for people to understand like how you want to be implementing what you teach with Ninja and what you're doing there, how you want to implement that with technology, with the agents. Maybe give them some background, just your thoughts around that. Again, the technology part, me and Alex can fill in the blanks because I know it's newer for you. But I think getting that perspective, I know you're very passionate about it, would definitely be interesting for the crowd.
Okay, so I guess I'll start, and Talita, you just jump in because I know you utilize it a little bit differently than I do. But so I guess really, if you follow the Ninja way, which our firm does, and we're very excited to be a Ninja firm, it's basically we have this flow. And the flow, there's, auto flow, and then there's live flow. And our auto flow, we've been working on our auto flow for years with different products. But what enticed us to Cloze an ActivePipe was that it had this ninja touch to it. So what's overwhelming when you start any new product is learning it and then thinking, oh my gosh, I have to have all my database in and I have to have all of this kind of put in all together. What's lovely about Cloze is that you can do it in baby steps. So it automatically connects your phone system and the emails, and you don't realize it even initially when you start it, you don't even realize that it's pulling it all together for you in this lovely story. And then each day you do a little bit more. So you add a little bit more to your database. It tells you when to touch people or when you haven't spoken to someone for a while. So for me, that was a total game changer. And then also Talita, I guess, explain a little bit about the leads that come over and how that kind of helps you with your touches as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get about, I would say about 10 to 20 new leads coming in from Zillow, Realtor.com. And my job is to be able to stay in touch with everyone. And with Cloze, it's definitely made my job easier because, like Tamy was saying, it gives you these reminders. So when I log in the morning, I can look and it gives me my agenda. And it tells me what's really nice is that there's this little portion where it says keep in touch, and it gives me a list of people, and then under each person it'll say your last interaction with each client or with each buyer. So then I can just go down the list. I don't have to, my day is set for me, and then it's less stressful, it's more organized. Everybody's getting followed up with, so it's very very nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And also then, with your note cards and things like that, all of that can go in there. So it's really easy to maybe make your database a little bit more robust with the addresses and emails and everything. So it kind of pulls it all together for you. And then with ActivePipe setting up the campaigns, that's been a little bit more of an easier flow for us for our lead generation as well. So they're getting touched by, obviously the new homes that are coming on the market. They don't stay on the market for very long at the moment, but so it's probably even more important now to just really have that connection and kind of that auto flow happening, and people really appreciate it.
Yeah, and Cloze makes it easy for you to set the criteria in the contact, and then ActivePipe reads the information, and then they get, then we're able to set up a campaign for each, specific city, and then the emails and the drips and the listings get sent to the buyers based on what they're looking for, based on the criteria that we set for them on Cloze. And then every day we get a notification from ActivePipe letting us know who's interacting with these campaigns, so then we can reach out in a different way.
Yeah, you guys are touching on a really important concept when it comes to, and I appreciate those comments. You touch on a really important concept when it comes to digital marketing in general, is making it personalized and making it custom for the end user. And I think, this is a ninja idea too. I think when you look at like CRM, you look at email marketing, I think in this industry, you can oftentimes, there can be a bad connotation to it, because a lot of people, just want to kind of press a button and send something out to everybody. And that actually can be impersonal. That actually can hurt your branding. What I love about what you guys are talking about is like, okay, the ease of use of actually like segmenting your audience, understanding what they need, and then the marketing that comes out, that results from that, is targeted in that way. And so the end consumer, what they're getting is something that feels like, okay, this is made for me. Even though for you guys, you know, you put tech systems in place to make sure that it's automated. You know, we talk about auto flows, that hopefully that it's auto and it's not a lot of manual flow.
Right.
Alex,
I think setting up the relationship too, in Cloze, that allows us to segment our business. So whatever we're focusing on, we can, it just flows, and we can segment it as intricately as we need to. And then it can also be a little bit more of a wide range, you know, so when it's branding, it can maybe go to more of the database. And then when we're segmenting it, we're targeting different audiences for different listings and for different properties and things like that. So we're getting better at that too, don't you think, Talita?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting great feedback, because I'm finding that there's a lot of people replying to these emails. They like they said, it is very personal. And then sometimes they'll just ask, hey, you know, I was looking closer to the bay. And then we try to figure out how we can get them, you know, a little bit more personal.
Yeah, no, it's
I think that's
interest change. Yeah.
And that's an important point, because you're doing both. You're doing highly targeted marketing that's part of the auto flow, but you still have the live flow to balance it. So it's the combination of the two,
Really?
which
Yeah.
gives them the authenticity to make you stand out. It's not just set and forget. You're involved. And so by checking the agenda each morning in Cloze, but still piping through the automation out of ActivePipe, you get both going at the same time, which really does provide differentiation when it comes to what you see elsewhere. So maybe, yeah, go ahead. Good.
I was going to say too, what I didn't realize, and then once we did set it up in Cloze, there's a timeline for a particular person. It breaks down to property and person. So when you go into the person and you see the timeline and the interaction, you know, I've really done well with that, because I can see the story of the relationship, and it's all about the relationship that creates our business. So that was super helpful. And I just kind of put that all together just recently. And gosh, I've really used that a lot lately, just to kind of to engage with, you know, with our clientele.
Yeah, Tam, what I love about, I'm going to do a little bit of promotion of Cloze here. This is coming from a guy who used to work at Contactually. What I love about it, this is something Contactually always tried to do, just couldn't end up doing. But you know, the best part, like a CRM, you know, a bad CRM stinks, because it can be very manual. It can be a lot of work to do. A good CRM can be life-changing. And a lot of it comes down to, okay, can you take as much off my plate as possible, especially for like tracking things and creating context and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know any CRM that can actually track phone calls and text outside of these guys. So
that's a game changer.
Yeah, because if you're, you know, every time I talk to somebody, I have to go in and like track it and all that. It's like, you know, it's not going to happen. So your data is always inaccurate to a certain extent. But if you can close that last part, right, the phone calls and texts, game changer. Contactually couldn't figure it out, you know.
Well, I have a little story, because we're trying to incorporate all of our agents to utilize Cloze and ActivePipe. And one of our gals, Jessica, was sitting down with me, and I was trying to show her all the analytics that Cloze has. And then it actually broke down who she was making calls to. So it shows you like who you're spending the most time with. And then hers was like all buyers, you know, it was like 95%. And then she looked at me and said, oh my gosh, I better start calling my family. I've been spending all this time with these buyers. So it's really great, the analytics that it has. Yeah.
Yeah, the
really cool.
analytics are fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. And like the next step is like so this is kind of what Alex was touching on, which I really love, is that it's taking those analytics and it's then doing something with it, right? And it's okay, understanding this is my actions right now. How do I augment? How do I hone it even better? And what Alex was touching on before is that, you know, you have two systems here that work really nicely together, and both do two different things, and you shouldn't just do one, right, at the end of the day. And that's where you're seeing a lot of the benefit of this, is that, okay, yes, you should be making phone calls and text messages and personal emails to everybody you can. Knowing you only have a certain number, certain amount of time per day, you want to also make sure you have good content going out at the same time. When companies can maximize more than one avenue of marketing or outreach, that's where you see this multiplier effect. it's not just 1 + 1 = 2. There's actually a multiplying effect where, I'm seeing you in my phone, I'm seeing you in my email. If you can incorporate ads, I'm seeing in my ads. You get this exposure effect. And the hardest part that companies typically deal with is that these are all different products, right? When you're looking at, how our companies work together, is that it's all one system under one place. You happen to use 2 different products. Tamy, I'm interested, before you started working, you always were doing Ninja, and that was always a big part of the business. What were some of the challenges you were dealing with before that led you to start saying, like, look, we need to think about the systems we're using here?
Well, I don't want to name names of
Without
the
naming
previous.
names. Yeah.
You're right. We've had a lot of system in place. We have a large database, probably about 47,000 in our database that we drip to and we touch and things like that. And the issue is that it's not automatic. It's cumbersome. And so with Cloze and ActivePipe working together, there's less data entry. It's just easy. If you do a little bit every day, we're staying on top of it. And that's a good feeling, to be not always struggling like, oh my gosh, I have to get all this information into one system. It flows. And I think between Cloze being that it kind of says, why don't you do these things today? And then you've crossed it off your list, and then filtering it through to ActivePipe, you're doing your Ninja, you're doing your auto flow and your live flow. And it's not overwhelming. And I think with any system, if it's overwhelming, you're not going to use it. Mm-hmm. And so this has been a nice transition for us, I think.
And your goal is to be as authentic as possible across as many people as possible, but you can't do that with 40,000+ contacts, and you don't have time in the day. So it's where are you going to spend where is the meat of the time you spend to get the most value out? So you can only do live flow with so many people a day. And what we see sometimes is very lumpy marketing, where it's like, today's the day, I'm going to email everyone. The problem is then a burst of people come back to you, and then it's overwhelming. And the agents get in trouble that way when they do these tight campaigns that land everything in their lap. With Ninja plus Cloze plus ActivePipe, it's a continuous flow. So you're touching a lot of people, you're doing it in an authentic way, but it's very manageable. And so that gives you the best of all the worlds together. And I think, Talita, you touched on something that's important too, is that leads often get lost. And what's happening in this approach is you're ensuring they get tracked. And that's probably the hardest thing for most agents, because it's either you miss it and you don't even follow up at all, or it's one and done. You see it, you make one call, and then you forget. With the program you've built, it's coming through, it's getting tracked. You're getting the live follow-up, but then it's piping all the way to ActivePipe for continuous marketing and nurturing. So it never gets lost, and you get everybody getting touched, because they may come back, right? Even if you don't get them live now.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So maybe talk a little bit about some stories around that. That might be an interesting topic for folks about the long-term cycle here on some of these leads.
So just, just speaking about that timeline is we have the auto flow going. So they're getting touched with listings and then also with brand marketing. So that auto flow is happening. And so this one particular instance, this gentleman, this doctor client of ours that we touched on with each other for a couple of years, he reached back out to me and he told me exactly that it was my auto flow that kept me at top of mind. And sure enough, we've got the listing and we've got the buy side, and he appreciated that. And I think that's so helpful, that timeline, the touching of the people. And honestly, I probably only called him a couple of times. And then I had Cloze set up, and then, it was a reminder for me to reach back out to him, and it just kind of organically started happening. And so I'm really thankful for that. But yes, it's really about, it's about the touches, and you've got to do both, but you don't have time to do both all the time. So this allows us to have the auto flow going, and ActivePipe is really great with that as well. So we're definitely working on our campaigns now and kind of getting that situated as well.
Yeah, that's a perfect story because you just articulated the combination of both platforms working for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
long haul on one person, but then Cloze caught the reminder and also remind you to reach out live. So you got both. And
That was 2 years,
that's
2 years in the making, that particular transaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So-
great. It's you see the numbers out there that talk about 80% of people say they'd work with the same agent and only 20% do that, right? And so a lot of that just has to do with mind share, top of mind, right? Average
out
buyer,
of sight, out of mind, right?
yeah, out of sight, out of mind. I think it's like a 3 to 7 year cycle in from when somebody buys a home to the chance that they might be another opportunity again. So many people spend so much time on the lead generation part. The lead nurturing part, we actually just did a presentation about this like an hour ago, about there's numbers out there that talk about for those companies that can effectively lead nurture can actually see a 50% increase in business with the leads that they currently have, focusing on their leads.
That's right.
And at 33% of the cost that it takes to generate leads. So it's not
Yes.
only more efficient cost-wise, but you actually could see a 50% uptick in business if you focus on leads that you have, right? It's things like this that you're doing. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be generating leads. And then, okay, fine.
No.
Once you're nurturing them, okay, how do you do that? Use multiple platforms, use multiple ways. So what you were talking about, yeah.
I can be as busy as I want to be by just touching the people that we have in my database. That's not even the lead generation database.
Mhm.
It's just, I say to our agents all the time, it's just touching those people and just reaching out to them, and that business will organically grow. It's just the ninja way, and it works. The TSW, this stuff works. So the system works, and it's lovely now that we have a technology that is matching that.
Mm-hmm. Think about the use case right now. So in most markets, there is a listing shortage, which as a result, a lot of us are seeing significant pricing hikes. Now, the average consumer doesn't necessarily know that. They don't necessarily realize that their home just went up in value 13% of their last year, something crazy, right? And so you could reach out to somebody, which has value. You could reach out to someone now and say, hey, not sure if you realize this, but this is what's going on in your neighborhood. Maybe we should chat. If that's the first time you guys talked in years, okay, if they're really motivated, they might say, okay, let's do this. But if you've had communication over that long period of time up to that point, an opportunity point popped up, you have this foundation of, you've been a source of communication for them and information, all that. Now you're kind of saying like, hey, let's chat. It's much more natural, right? We found an opportunity point, but it's built on a foundation of, a previous relationship. And that doesn't need to happen from every single day making a phone call. Or it doesn't also just happen from just sending out a newsletter, right?
That's exactly right.
So it's valuable. Well, you can use use cases right this second that, companies are dealing with right now.
I love in Cloze, it actually has the relationship box. And so every day I add a new relationship to my database. And it's just so easy, and it's a quick little reminder. But I can do it on my mobile phone, or I can do it in the office, or I can do it at home. And it's just these little friendly reminders, and it only takes a couple of minutes. And if you're a ninja, you like having those check marks done. You like to know that you've worked on your database today. You know that you like to have made those phone calls, have done your note cards, done your gratitudes, all of those things. And this platform helps that mentality. And so I think both Talita and I definitely like our check marks. So we're enjoying that. Yeah, it's just we're always doing that. So if you like that, this is an easy way to just kind of keep your check marks going.
And Talita, what's your ideal morning routine? You clearly, Ninja has a routine. What does your routine look like? How do you run that every day?
You go, Talita.
Yeah, I like waking up early in the morning and reading something uplifting. And I have a book next to my bed, so I read like a page a day. And then I get up, I exercise, and then I get into the office, and then I open up my Cloze and I hold off on that because then I do my affirmations. with Ninja. And then once I'm done with that, then I can go down and look at the agenda and kind of start following up with what I need to do. It's really nice. It'll tell me my meetings that are set up for the day and who I need to keep in touch with, what agents I need to follow up with. It just has a list of everything to do. So it just makes it nice and easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I wake up at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I run upstairs and do a quick exercise class of some kind. And then I start doing my affirmations, gratitudes, and I read something also like tea, and I try to do my note cards immediately, because if I don't do it first thing in the morning, the day gets away from us. And then I go straight into Cloze, which helps me with my warm and hot list. And so so that's pretty much my morning routine, and I time block it as well. So that's a big factor. And we have a meeting every Monday morning in our office, in our firm, called Ninja Monday Morning Reset at 8:30. And so we talk about our time blocking and what we want to work on that week. And so that kind of filters in, we have a theme for the week, and that's kind of filters into our week and our schedule as well. And we just really try to encourage each other. And some days, we may not get everything done, but it's okay. And Cloze is really great with that. They don't, it's not this huge list that just keeps getting created. They kind of work with you, and then it's that gentle reminder the next day. So I really appreciate that.
Great.
Awesome.
What I love about this is that you both said you don't check your email, which is really, really important. And they talk about it in Ninja too, but staying on agenda, getting all that other stuff out of the way, which is your time, versus the inbox, which tends to be really somebody else's agenda for you. So it was great to hear that you take that approach.
When you say that, so many people get stuck on their emails. I never check my emails to the end of the day. Sometimes something will pop up that stands out, but for the most part, by the end of the day, when I'm checking off my emails, I've done everything that I was supposed to do. I've addressed all of the emails without even knowing that I've addressed them. So it's kind of nice, and whatever Cloze is doing is helpful with that.
It was great catching up with you. I know we're a couple minutes over on time here. I appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit of what you're doing. It's great to hear the success you guys are having. Enjoy the conference, and hopefully we'll be talking again soon.